Hey, 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 Miss Selandria. Whoa, 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 whoa. I love it. I love it. I love it. How are you? How are
I,
you?
I am good.
That is awesome. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome to Big Hug Conversations. Yes, where the passion is the draw, but your journey, young lady, is the big hug that this world needs. So I am thankful that you said yes to me and the vision that God has placed within me, and just excited to dig in to find out more about who you are and how you have gotten through everything that you may have endured and how you are just lighting up your corner of the world. So
Well, I'm
let's go on.
glad
Oh,
to be here.
love it. I love it. I love it. Now, see, I can keep on talking and all of that. But one thing I do, I love your energy. I love your energy. It matches mine. We can, just light
Yep.
the thing up and be going on for hours. But I'm going to quiet myself down and let you talk after I ask you this first question.
Okay.
Who are you?
Well, let's see. Who am I? I am Selandria Jackson, and I am a life coach. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a um, I'm a mother. Or should I say a mom? And I'm going to explain that too. And I'm a TT, and I'm a daughter to two lovely parents, and I am passionate about youth. And I have been doing youth all of my life. I will never forget, I was probably around 11, um, 10, 11 years old. And I remembered my cousin, who's now in his 40s. And I remember saying, let me keep him. Can he stay with me and I'll watch him? And his mom and dad said, okay. But of course, my parents were at home.
Right.
And I just wanted to keep him. And I've always loved to be around kids. And I feel like I'm a mentor. I'm a leader. I thank God. I know that that's my purpose in life, to touch young people. And I think I've known it from day one that my mom says that when I was a little bitty baby, I was always smiling and playing with kids and just wanting to be around kids. And that's who I am. I am a mentor to children at my core. I talk to young people all the time. And coincidentally, today I had a younger relative, young person, and they left their job. And they called me and she was crying and she said, can I come by your job, please? And I was like, sure, come on. And took an hour out of my day to, to do what I do, which is mentor and make sure things are okay. I always want our young people to be okay. And they know that Miss Jackson loves them. They all call me Miss Jackson. It's kind of funny. I am called Miss Jackson by my parents, by my sister, by my cousins. Everybody says Miss Jackson, and that came from me working with young people all my life. And so, of course, in the business setting, they had to say Miss Jackson and Miss Jackson. And so when my parents and my siblings and everybody, my family would call aunts and uncles, and they said, is Miss Jackson available? And then when I would get home, they would tell the other kids, go ask Miss Jackson. So when my mom calls me even now, or my dad, hey, Miss Jackson, what you doing? I'm like, oh, nothing. So although I'm Selandria, most people call me Miss Jackson, and that's just because of my connection with kids. I don't have biological children. As I said, mother and mom. I have a cousin, that I raised. When he was, I think around like 9, he came and lived with us, with me and his dad. His dad and I were roommates at the time and was traveling extensively. And he said, "Can I leave him here with you?" I said, "I guess so." And eventually he started calling me Ma, Ma, because Ma was going to the schools and Ma had to, we had to do what we had to do. And we got through elementary, middle. Then I'm like, okay, I'm Ma for real now. We in the high school, and okay, you got to go to college. And now he's an adult and with a family, and I'm a Gigi, and everybody, when they see or they hear someone, when they see him say Ma, they like, "I didn't know you had kids. When did you do that?" I'm like, long story, but yeah, I love him, and I thank God for putting him in my life, because I was able to do what I do best up under my own roof, and that was make an impact to a younger person. So I thank God for giving me that opportunity. When it first happened, I didn't see it. But then God showed me, there's more for you. You have to continue to do the work.
Wow.
So I didn't get a break when I came home. It was still the mission, and I love sports. I'm a sports enthusiast. Crazy thing, my parents didn't play sports, so to speak. And when I said, I want to play basketball, my dad put a goal outside and, okay, go play. And everybody said, well, who taught you? Nobody. Just kind of got out there with the neighborhood kids, and we played sports, but both of my parents watched sports all the time. So I was used to watching it on TV. Even to this day, we all watched the game. My family, my extended family, they love sports, and we don't care who's playing. We're going to watch the game, and we're going to find a game to attend. And so that mixture of working with kids, taking what I love the most, sports, and what kid doesn't like sports? I always say that when they're 3, 4, 5, who don't want a ball in their hand? Who don't want to throw the ball? We're going to throw the ball. We're going to hit the ball. We're going to shoot the ball. We're going to catch it. And so, yeah, I just mix that whole thing in. And does that answer who I am? That super duper person who loves sports and kids.
Super duper gorgeous. Yes, yes, yes. Selandria, I love your story. One, I love the fact that God doesn't always work in a box, and I think we sometimes look for him to do that, but he will give us the desires of our hearts, but it'd be outside the box, as in you being the sole caregiver of your family member, your nephew.
My cousin.
Your cousin, I'm sorry. I mean, he placed, first of all, hands-on job, right? Like hands-on, get the job done, hands-on. What is it that I'm trying to say? On the job training. Oh my gosh. On the job training that he gave you to nurture the gift that he had already placed in you. And that was to be that mentor to young people. Oh my gosh, I love that. And he helped you to see the inside, as when I say inside, like what goes on inside the house, what goes on in that, type of relationship, that one-on-one relationship. You got to go to bed, keeping the responsibilities, what that parent is going to experience, so that when you are working with young people, somebody else's kids, you know both sides of it, and you can attack both sides of it. You can see from, you know, both ends, and then have the knowledge, the wisdom, the know-how to be able to navigate on, you know, through that for the child as well as the parent. And that is beautiful. I mean, that's beautiful how God just does that. And again, as you said, you didn't see it at the time. And that wasn't something you were even, you know, quite looking for, but it is, I mean, that's just purpose. That's how he navigates us through, you know, our experiences and different situations and all of that to get us to the place that he called us to be in the first place. I love it, love it, love it.
Absolutely. You know, when Dwayne first said "ma," and I'm like, "Ma," I'm like, "Oh, okay," and I'm like, and then it became normal and natural. And it's so funny you just said that about I was able to, and it's strictly, you know, oh God, you know, I was able to relate to parents differently at that point, because Miss Jackson asking kids, did you go to bed last night? Did you get some rest? Versus Miss Jackson, who's making sure I had to become that person to make sure you go to bed and that you eat proper and that you do the things that you're supposed to do so you can have a great day at school tomorrow. And we have to get up in the morning and let's set the clock, and teaching those things in-house were, I mean, to this day, it's invaluable. I'm able to help so many parents because I can see both sides of it. And I mean, that was a valuable experience for me. And I would do it all over again, just because the love that he and I grew to have to each other and for each other. I mean, man, he made a difference in my life, and I certainly know that I made a difference in his, because he tells me all the time. He tells me all the time what being here actually meant, you know. And I'll share this before you get to your next question. At the time when Dwayne came to stay with us, I was living in an apartment, but it was because of him I bought a home. I knew, he needs his own room. I have to do more. And he was my inspiration for a lot of things, but you just never know how God is going to move and what he's doing. And I thank him for Dwayne and the experiences that we had and that we continue to have.
That, oh my gosh, is beautiful. And like just that add-on, you know, that whole abundance, that overflow, with you saying that because of the situation that you have been placed in, you bought a home. You know, that may not have been something that you would even think about, you know, trying to do. But just again, that whole navigating, I love it. I love it. I love it. It's super duper.
Super duper. Super duper.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So listening to you share about your youth and mentoring, I guess I would say, or it'd be safe to say that youth is your passion. And I'm going to let you express more about what your passion is and then how you got there, like what led you to that.
So let's see. I remember when I was in college, and let's see. Yeah, when I was in college, I had an opportunity to work at the YMCA, and I was coaching the kids, and working with the after school program, I was doing both. And kids, as they've done as they would do in my family, just gravitated to me. And I was majoring in social work because I thought I wanted to be a counselor at the school, because I love to help people with their problems. And so okay, well, I can be a counselor and I can help the kids because Miss Jackson loved the kids. So we're going to help the kids. And so I'm majoring in social work to be a social worker and a counselor, and I'm going to help the kids. Meanwhile, the job opportunities that were being presented in front of me throughout college were working with kids in a recreational setting. I also worked at another facility where kids had special needs.
Okay.
And I said, wow. And again, kids in that setting gravitated to me. They wanted me to work extra hours to help with the kids because they would be acting out and want Miss Jackson. And then at the recreation side, I got a chance, to do the sports and coach. But I'll tell you something. I always coached the boys. It's just a strange dynamic. I would always coach little boys. And so I went on, and I remember one of my professors in college, and he said, you need to work with the kids in the recreation center. I said, well, I'm going to school. I'm almost finished, and I'm going to be a counselor. I can't play with kids all day long. Be a counselor. I can't keep playing with the kids and coaching the kids. So I was a volunteer coach with AAU and grassroots with boys. Okay. And then I was doing recreation center work. And then I was working with the special needs. And I knew, I was like, yeah, I can help kids through their problems and their issues. So then I went on to get my master's degree. Again, I need to get all this education so I can be a counselor and a therapist and help the kids. But I love sports. So I'm still volunteering with the kids. And so I'm meeting parents. I'm also working in the recreation centers. And then people, some of my colleagues were putting opportunities in front of me. I went to Atlanta, and you can run this grant program, and you can help kids in this neighborhood, and can you do this with the kids? And it was like everybody could see I had a gift of programming and helping kids. And I just kept being a volunteer coach because I love the sports. And so when I'm in recreation centers, they gave me a chance to watch them play sports. But I noticed that kids were just coming in to talk to me, parents coming in to talk to me. At the time when I was in Atlanta, as well as in Little Rock, my facilities had some of the highest numbers. Wow. And we had waiting lists, and people were saying they want to be wherever Miss Jackson is. Wow. And I was like, okay. I never saw it like that. I was just doing what comes natural for me. Okay. And I would hear conversations, but again, I'm just doing me. I'm not thinking of it in the big picture.
Yeah, that was going to be I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that was going to be my question. Did you see what they saw? What all these other people saw about Miss Jackson. Could you see that in yourself?
No. And it's so funny because my mom and other people would say, you don't even know what you have. My mom would say it all the time. You don't even know the gift you have. You don't know the impact that you are making on these young people's lives. You don't even know. And I think as I got older and I decided, no, I don't want to be a counselor because I like recreation. It gives me a chance to be in sports, but I'm also loving I'm getting a chance to counsel because they're coming to me, and parents are coming to me. And in our grassroots organization, parents and kids continue, like nighttime, weekends, call me. What you think about this? Or my child only want to hear what Miss Jackson had to say. And well, can you call him or her about this? But I did always have a special connection with the young boys. And then I started telling people, I said, I think it's because a lot of that, at that time, a lot of the young boys were being raised by single moms. Mm-hmm. And I've always been firm. I've always been a disciplinarian to my heart. I mean, sometimes I wonder why they even want to be around me, because they know I'm tough. But at the same time, I knew 30 years ago, I knew this: if you discipline your kids, they will love you. Amen. And I knew that was probably one of the magnets, because I love you, but you're going to have to do right. And so I think for young guys and young people that have single moms, they could relate to me because I'm like another mother figure. And I'm going to say the same thing she said, but I'm going to say it in a way that you can hear me. And I wanted people to know that that's God. That's not me. God gave that gift to me. And I did not take that for granted, that I could say something, the same thing that you would say, and they could still hear me, because parents talk to me all the time. I just don't understand why they don't hear such and such. And it was so, the irony is, it didn't matter the age, 5, 6, 14, 15. It didn't matter. I just could communicate with young people. And I know that God gave me that gift. And I am so appreciative of that, because when they become young adults, I can't count. Matter of fact, I don't even know half the people that stop me, and they like, "Hey, Miss Jackson," and I just go, "Hey, you don't remember me from such and such, such and such?" And I'm like, "Ooh, baby, over all these years, you know how many lives I've seen and touched." And I just say, where you know me from? And then they'll tell me, and I have people telling me all the time about their experiences with me and what happened when they were younger. And I remember, and I came in there and you talked to me. And I tell people, it's a good thing if I don't know you, because that means you probably didn't get in trouble that much. So I didn't have to really get to know you except in passing. I know some professional women now that have shared with me that someone that they knew had told them, "Send your kids over there with Miss Jackson. She got them." And they told me that's why they sent their kids there back then, back in the day. And I think I know that that's my journey. I mean, recreation. I've been a director of several community centers. I've actually been over all of them here in our city. I've actually moved up in management and over athletic programs and multiple programs, grant programs, different things. Eventually, I got out of the hands-on and it started to move up in the ladder. And but I will always still volunteer or always show my face where the young people are. And the young people in our family, when I was coming up, they kept me youthful anyway, because they wanted to come here and hang out, or either they wanted to go with me wherever I was going. Okay. And so, and then my love for sports is just unmatched. I mean, every year of this journey, of those journeys, of going through that, I was still volunteering as a coach.
Wow.
And I was spending my summers and my spring traveling with our AAU team and our AAU program. I did that in Atlanta with their program. I did it here. And so that allowed me, that gave me a chance to really meet people across the country. I've met so many people. I was actually featured in an article in Salt Lake City when I was like in my early 20s for being the first and only female AAU coach of the boys.
Wow.
Team. Yeah.
Wow.
You know how long ago that, I mean, that was a long time ago, but that's how long I've been around the boys athletics. And yeah, I just have always loved sports, and everybody think I just love basketball. I love football too. I watch playoffs and everything else, you know, all things football. I watch track meets, I watch tennis. I love to, you know, I just love sports. I love the game. I love the competition. I love the sportsmanship. And what I know is sports gives young people an opportunity to have fun, but they also get a chance to learn. We teach them so much about life experiences. And in 25 years, I can promise you, every single year, there's been some kid that said, I've never been on a plane before. Miss Jackson, can I sit right here? Where are we going? And how many times I've taught just the simple layout of the airport. This is what the boarding part looks like. And this is where this is baggage claim. And it's something so simple, but I look forward to that every year to teach a young person, because I tell them, you're going to travel the world. So you need to know now. And yeah, this is Delta Airlines, but you're gonna know about Southwest, you're gonna know about flying commercial, you're gonna know about flying private. And what's private, Miss Jackson? And I had a chance to fly private with a team, you know, so I like, you know, man, and all of that's because of sports. I mean, those are things that some people will never ever learn or will never experience. How to be a teammate. And when we travel and I say, it's time to do laundry, and I'm often shocked that a 16, 17-year-old tells me, I don't know how to do that. And I said, that's okay. We're going to learn today. Wow. You're with me for a whole week. You're going to, because I won't do your laundry, I promise, but you're going to learn. And so the things that I've had a chance to teach people, the young people in sports, I wouldn't trade those experiences for anything. When they knock on my door and say, Miss Jackson, when are we going to eat? And I'm like, well, what do you want to eat? And the only two words that's consistent, hamburgers and wings. And I'm like, well, no, we chicken and hamburgers. There's something else. Well, what else is it? Let's go experience a restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah. So I love what sports can do. You know, it's bigger than the game.
That right there is bigger than the game. Sports bigger than, and here's our segue into Sideline Choices. Will you please explain to us how you are connected to Sideline Choices and what is Sideline Choices?
Okay, well, Sideline Choices is my baby. I am the CEO and life coach for Sideline Choices, and that's the name of my business. What that means is young people have to make choices when they're on the sideline of life, not just the game. And oh man, in the last, I'd say 5 years, the landscape of sports has changed and it's constantly changing. And I watch parents spend hundreds and thousands of dollars on training, on getting better at the game. And I kept watching this. Now, mind you, I've been doing this a long time. So I've been a mentor for a long time, and I'm like, the ones that make it, and when I say make it, the ones who are successful, either they have become professional athletes or they have become professional businessmen or women. And I cannot count how many of them come back to me and say, I wish I would have known that. Wow. I wish I would have known this. And I wish I would have known that. And Miss Jackson, remember when you were telling me about, oh man, I wish I would have known more. And so those seeds were being planted inside of me. Again, God just putting that inside of me. And the funny thing is, I used to say about 10 years ago, I used to say, I'm gonna be a life coach. I had just heard the word. And my mom, what's a life coach? I don't know. Teach somebody about life. Teach these folks about life, because right. I'm doing it, but I'm not knowing what that is.
Right.
I'm knowing that I have something here. I'm like, when they're on the sidelines, they need to be coached. Because once you make it, whatever your make it is, and I say that next level, right. There is so much that you don't know.
Yeah.
There is so much your parents and your coaches don't know, because all the time is being spent on learning how to play the game. And I'm going pro, and oh my God, I gotta play Division I. I gotta be D1. I gotta be D1. But do you know what that means to play Division I college basketball? Do you know what that means to be a professional athlete? And I've talked to professional athletes who say there was so much I needed to know. When I arrived, nobody ever bothered to teach me. And so Sideline Choices is about me coaching your student athlete on the sideline of life about things that they're going to experience if they plan on being a Division I, II, III athlete, or going on to the next level. And every kid wants to go all the way up. And a lot of times they just don't know what to do when they do and what to do when they don't. Because we know that everybody can't make it. And when I first started talking about Sideline Choices, a lot of people were like asking me, you trying to say that the kids can't make it pro? I'm like, ooh. No, what I'm saying is, if they make it pro or if they don't make it pro, are they equipped with what they need? Because you get there and you hit with all of this stuff. Even, and I'm gonna take it off of pro. Let's just say when you go to college as an athlete, and something as simple as community service, the understanding the why behind the community service, to understand our team, we went over there and fed the homeless. Well, where did y'all go? Someplace, I don't know. What do you know about the organization? What organization? Didn't you just say you went, y'all team went? Having no concept of community service. But I'm gonna take it a little step further. If you become that pro, and then your community is coming to you about helping in the community, and all you know is you fed some homeless, or all these people are telling you how to spend your money on giving back to the community, when in the reality here at Sideline Choices, we talk about community. We talk about what that really means. So when you get there, it's not a foreign language to you. It's not anything you haven't heard. As a matter of fact, one of my goals is when you come out of Sideline Choices, you'll have a whole different perspective on your own community and how you can impact change yourself. And how, as a student athlete, and I tell them, I say, now you're separating yourself from everybody else. You know, time management, because when you're in school, college and high school, everybody tells you what to do. You gotta be over there. I gotta be over there. I gotta be over there. But when you have to make a decision of what choices to make when you're on the sidelines, away from all the adults who've told you what to do, your coach is expecting you just to be where you're supposed to be on his timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you going to do with your other time? And how are you going to manage that? And why is that important? Because when you become a pro, guess what? The game is only 2 hours. What you doing the other 22 hours of your day when you've never had 22 hours of your day?
Wow.
So we really, I love my clients. It's been really good. I just started last year in 2021. And when I tell you, to hear some of those parents tell me that their kids are asking, when is my next session?
Wow.
The first time I heard that, I started crying. I was like, oh, they really want to come back. And they were like, yes. And after every session, I started, asking, did you learn something? At every single session, every single client, Ms. Jackson, I didn't know that.
Wow.
I didn't know that. And then to have some of them follow up and send a text. Now, what did you say about this? Yeah, let me share this, because believe it or not, I want everybody to know, after 25 years of doing what I've been doing, I've talked to a lot of parents and I've talked to a lot of kids. And I know that there are things that God wants me to share.
Mm-hmm.
And take it a little deeper than just make sure you be on time. No, it's bigger than be on time.
Right.
And so Sideline Choices is all about being on the sidelines of life and of the game, and knowing that mental preparation and being prepared. And a lot of things I do too. I reiterate what parents are already saying, what coaches are already saying, but it's a different way.
Mm-hmm.
God gave me that gift. It's a different way to present it. And I think the biggest thing that I do too, I hear young people. I like to hear them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't talk at them. I want to hear them.
And that's that. Not everybody can do that. That's a special thing, to be quiet, be silent so that you can listen. I shared sometimes the thing that I found out about those two words, silent and listen, is that they actually have the same letters. And it showed me, when God even revealed that to me, it was like, wow, okay, so in order to listen, you got to be silent, and oftentimes we don't, right? Because we're so busy trying to get our response together while the person is talking. I'm getting my head, I know what I'm gonna say after this, and blah blah, that we ain't even hear half the stuff that the person was saying. So what a gift and what a blessing that is, for you to say, no, I want to listen. That is you being intentional about hearing what they have to say, and then hearing what they didn't say,
Yeah.
in that conversation. Wow.
Yeah. And you have to do that a lot with young people, because they don't talk. Especially
Right.
now, they got their phones and they don't talk. And I have a younger cousin, and I'll never forget when he told me I was his person. And I was like, why you say that? And he was just like, you're my person. You hear me.
That's beautiful.
I was like, wow, okay. I hear you. And, I have nephews, and I love them to death, and I love to hear them, and I have nieces too, but I don't get to see them as often as I see my nephews. But it's just, God is just so good in blessing me, to be a blessing to the young people. And through Sideline Choices, I'm able to do that. I have my first program, it's called Air It Out. And Air It Out is one-on-one coaching with students in high school, student athletes in high school. And I get stopped a lot and asked a lot, well, why you don't get the middle school? My baby needs you in the middle school. I'm like, whew, okay. And then why you just doing the athletes? My baby need to talk to you anyway. Okay, well, whew.
Wow.
But, that's just confirmation for me that this is a space that I'm supposed to be in, where I hear young people. And I think the sports thing is, I just get it, that sports is, it's a lot going on. And I just want the student athletes to know that, and I want the parents to know that they have a voice in here with me. And I'm not your trainer. I'm not going to make you the next late great Kobe Bryant. But I do know that you could be better than any athlete before you when you are fully equipped with some of these things and some of these strategies that I share with you, and that we get, man, to be knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Man, to hand some young people some tools that they just didn't know. And how would they know? And I tell some of the parents, I'm like, how would you know? You haven't done what I've been doing for 25 years. So I'm here to share it with you. I'm good. I'm humbling myself, and hey, I'm willing to share if you're willing to get involved in my programs. And I can assure you that so far the success rate is good, and I pray that it continues on. If you trust me with your student athlete, I will give them all that I have.
Selandria, look, you indeed, I lighten up your corner of the world, girl. Oh my, you are walking in your gift. You look, you are embracing that thing beautifully. I mean, it was already in you, right? As you shared, you seeing that, and you, even along the journey, you didn't quite see it all. But as God was putting it together, I mean, it was already in you. And the fact that you take it to the next level, and that you hear God and you move on his behalf, that big embrace, girl. Oh my, I mean, like I said before, lives are being changed. Lives have already been changed. And though Sideline Choices, you said, is this your year in, you've been doing it your whole life. You have been. Sideline Choices started when, look, before God even set time into motion, he had already placed that thing in you, girl. And I love it. It is so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh my gosh. And look, what it feels like is a super duper biggest hug ever. That's what it feels like. And just like a big hug, right? That can say so much, sometimes even without ever saying a word. I love you. I'm here for you. All of that. If you were able to give the world the biggest hug ever, what would your hug say?
My hug would say, I thought about that. I'm like, golly, what would my hug say? Embrace your inner youth. Embrace the inner spirit in you. Young people are so innocent. They are so innocent. And man, my heart is so big for them. And my biggest hug would go out to young people. And there's an organization here locally. It's called the Watershed. It's what they call a social hospital. And what I tell my clients is I want to be a force at the social hospital of the lives of young people. You know, I want to make a difference, and then I want to be able to give into that. I want to give into that social hospital because it's for everything and everybody, because everybody needs something, you know? Everybody needs that hug for some reason or another. They need that big hug. And girl, I am going to hug my super duper clients all day long. And I'm going to hug the kids when I see them at the game. I'm going to hug them down the street. And I just love them. I love them.
Amen. That is so, woo! It's, look, I hate to keep saying super duper, but I mean, it is. It is. It is. And one thing I know, not everybody is walking in, you know, that embrace. Not everybody has chosen to be authentically them. You know, it is a hard journey to do that, to take off masks, to admit, you know, I don't know everything. I'm trying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And just to be authentically you. When we do that, oh my gosh, it is then that God can do that gorgeous thing, you know, through us. And I'm saying the hug with the gift. It is then that we can embrace it and it can embrace us when we walk authentically in who we were created to be. And that is exactly what you have done. I'm sure it wasn't easy, you know, the entire life, and but you have done that. You are doing it, and it's gorgeous on you. It really is, sis. I salute you, girl.
Well, thank you. And I tell you, even on my hardest days, on the days when the weight is on my shoulders, all it takes is a kid and I'll be okay. It just takes a kid and I'll be okay.
I
Take
love
them little old babies and just look at me and be like, hey, Miss Jackson, you know, and they hug you, and man, they make it okay.
Yeah.
These grown-up problems, they ain't going nowhere, but them babies, ooh, girl, they make it okay.
Yeah. Wow. That is beautiful. Miss Selandria Jackson. Miss Jackson, if you ready, huh?
If you're ready, I'm ready for you if you're ready for me.
Hey. I love it. I just truly thank you so much for the time that you took to have this conversation with me. Indeed, it is not about me, the Big Hug Lady, or Selandria Jackson of Sideline Choices, but it is about those individuals who have heard your story and who are going to be inspired to now walk in their purpose, to now see and ask the question, what is it that I was created for? You know, what am I good at? What is it, the thing that I've been doing? What is that thing that I've been doing forever that I am ready to say yes to? And then, of course, ultimately, it is the Most High, the one who placed it in them in the first place. And so I thank you for sharing your story. It's so beautiful. I know, again, so many are going to begin to live because they heard your story, and because somebody gonna call you and say, look, I got a child who they need some help and I need some help, you know, can you, you know, hook me up, Miss Jackson? And so I'm excited for you. I really am. And I'm excited for those young people who are going to cross your path, and just the future that shall come from that, from you just saying yes to your embrace. So again, I thank you, my sister.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, man. Oh, man. And when you talk about purpose, I'm going to say this real quick. I remember when Steve Harvey said, there's a story he tells about taking the jump and doing what you have to do. You know, as you're gonna get cut, you're gonna get scrapes, you're gonna get scratches and all of that stuff. But you're gonna land.
Yeah.
You're gonna land on the ground. And it may not be pretty, but you're gonna get there. And I know that this is my purpose, and I want someone else to know that it may not be pretty, but what God puts in you, you know, you just have to do it. Just go for it. Just take that jump.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Super duper gorgeous. Blessings to you, sis. And hey, always find the biggest hug ever.
You can find me on social media, sidelinechoices.net is my website. I'm on Facebook, Sideline Choices. You can find me on Instagram, and you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube, and you can just tap me on the shoulder, as my videos say, and hey, Miss Jackson, let's talk. We can talk anytime. And if you're not in my local area, hook me up, look me up on social media, and we can still connect. I have you. I got you.
I love it. Now, where are you located?
I am in Little Rock, Arkansas. I'm born and raised right here. And I lived in Atlanta briefly, going to graduate school and everything. And yeah, but Little Rock is home. And
Amen.
I travel all the time, so I have no problem. I love to travel. Oh man, I love traveling. And I love the game. So hey.
Yeah.
I might be going to a game tonight.
Okay. Look, where's graduate school? What school did you go to?
Clark Atlanta University.
All right, Clark Atlanta. I love
HBCU, baby. That's me.
Look, my daughter went there. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Right. All right.
Yes. Awesome. Woohoo! All right, my dear, I'm going to let you go. I thank you so much for, again, just spending this time with us. Bless you.
Bless you. Appreciate it. Super duper.
Yeah. Woohoo!